Morning, and welcome to today's episode of Morning Market Review, whereby we share ideas as well as speculations of what the markets did previous day, as well as what we did expect that the market will do for today. And I actually believe that you can all hear me. If you can hear me, kindly just if you can hear me, drop a message. All right, all right. Thank you. Okay. All right, so we will be starting the class in some few minutes. Just stay tuned. This is just 8 to 7. By 8 to 10. We'll actually start the class. All right. Thank you. All right, so good morning, and just like we said, by 8 to 10 we actually start the class, and we actually kick start today's class like that. Welcome everybody. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen now, and the first thing we are going to be doing is to look at what did happened in the market during the course of some news that actually did made waves in the market for this particular week, and let's see how best we could take advantage from some of these things. All right. So this is Forex Factory, and let me just do it within Mondays as well as today to actually give us a broader view. All right. And nothing really did happen on Monday. We only had some not so very important news in the markets. That was the only thing we had on Monday. And on Tuesday, we had a monetary policy meeting from AUD, of which this did move the market to some degree. And for the Canadian dollar, we had their own CPI, which actually did came bad. Yes, it did came bad on Tuesday, and you'd actually see that since that particular Tuesday, CAD has not really been giving us that particular very good movement as well as momentum in the markets that we used to do have. This CPI has actually crippled a lot of things in that particular economy, all right? And coupled with the fact that when you look at some of the challenges that oil is actually facing at the moment, you'd see that Canadian dollar has not been at its best, all right? It has not been at its best. On Wednesday, we had FOMC member speaking, and this is just to actually reiterate their own commitment not to increasing the interest, not to increasing or cutting the interest rate, of which since December we've actually been saying that interest rate actually remains unchanged, and they've actually been giving us a lot of things at least weekly, or do I say bi-weekly, just to actually reiterate that particular commitment, to saying that, see, whatever happens, come what may, we are not increasing this particular interest rate, and it's going to be unchanged. So we still have that operating in the market. And yesterday, we had for yesterday, we had the Eurozone, we had a lot of PMI from the Eurozone, of which this particular news did give a rise to the Eurozone. And we can actually see that for some of us have actually been on a buy on Euro USD for quite some times. At least there was a bit of a relief, in the sense that since Tuesday, you can actually see that the Euro USD chart has actually been more of a bullish market, though for some of us, it has not really gotten to the place whereby we actually started our own entry. All right, but of course, this is actually giving us a bit of relief, and aside that, it's also at least we are seeing signs of a full or a better recovery as things actually do progress. And yesterday we had unemployment claims from the USD region. There was of course a bit of a relief, in the sense that against the projection of 217K, we had 201K, which means there was more or less like a 16,000 deficient. And aside that too, different reports coming from US actually shows a very good a very good report about the labor in that particular area, which tells us of the fact that for you being a laborer, you get so much now, which means that people are beginning to work. All right, unlike you just saying doing nothing and expecting the government to actually pay you because you didn't get something to do. All right. And for today, being Friday, we started with Japan All Bank holiday. And when we get to USD JPY, I'll tell you some of the things happening in Japanese angle. I'll take you there. And aside that too, we'll look at 1:35 a.m. You have FOMC member Waller. He actually did spoke, and by 8 o'clock we had German final GDP, which actually remains unchanged from the data which I have here. And by 9 o'clock we're going to be having GDP from Great Britain's pounds. One of their members is going to be speaking. CHF governor board member is going to be speaking, and by 10 as well as 11, all down to more like the whole of today, we are going to be having a very good news from the Eurozone, of which I expect that this would or might actually lead to more like a rise in what the Eurozone is actually doing at the moment. Because if you look at it, we are having an all-day event, and which is talking about the Eurogroup meetings, and from the Eurozone we have ECOFIN meetings too, which is actually the second day now. So we actually expect this now. And for CAD, we are going to be having their own corporate profit, as well as from the Eurozone, Belgian NBB business climate. So all this would definitely impact the market. All right. Yen sinks as currency traders keep short and carry on. US, China exploring new debt relief options to avoid wave of emerging, these are some of the news that are actually affecting the market. So let's go into our charts properly, and see what we as a person could enjoy for today. All right. Let's go into the chart, and let's see what we can actually enjoy for today. All right. So the first instrument we are going to be looking at for today, it's The first instrument we are going to be looking at for today is the dollar index, because the dollar index, with that we can actually get to analyze a whole lot of instruments, because most of them are actually, related, or in one way or the other, attached with dollar. All right, so from the dollar index angle, we had some news that actually did came up for this particular week, and some of those things is that they said no rush to actually cut rates, no rush to cut rates. And one thing they actually did said or looked at is the fact that inflation risk has to be extinguished before cutting or increasing rates further. So they're actually looking at reducing inflation, so as to actually know what they do about their own rates, which will actually give them more like a further upbeat into what dollar is going to do. Then aside that too, they actually did there is a news that actually said that labor data has been on the good side. Labor data has been on the good side, which means why we actually had a low unemployment claims as well as some other things is because labor data has actually been on the good side. Then there is actually a reduction in unemployment claims, and another thing which actually did at least to a positive side, gave room for the dollar to actually recuperate itself yesterday, was the fact that there was strong Nvidia earnings. There was a strong Nvidia earnings, which actually did tell us of more like a pump, or do I say an injection into this particular stock. All right, and also personal consumption expenditure, PC news, or do I say data that was actually did released, did talked about foodflation in this particular area. It talks about foodflation in this particular area. And when we talk about foodflation, it talks about increase or sporadic increase in price of food. All right, and you see that anywhere where you have such a thing like this, of course, generally it's actually bad for the economy. It's bad for the economy. All right, and looking at dollar index, we would actually see that for most part of what we had for this particular week, it actually did it was bearish for most of this particular week. We only had it doing a kind of movement yesterday, just to at least take itself back to the Wednesday region. And for today, we have actually seen that it started coming down again. All right, so moving into Euro USD, looking at what market has actually been doing for Euro USD, looking into what the market has been doing, we actually expect Euro USD to continue, at least for today, to be more of a buy. All right, so if you are entering into Euro USD for today, enter into a buy. Yes, enter into a buy, where you can actually take your profit at this region. And why I'm actually taking my profit at this region, for me, most of the strategy I use is just to use an open chart, or do I say naked chart. Now, there's nothing spectacular about this particular chart. It's just a naked chart, and I'm just using support and resistance. Now, if market actually breaks above this particular area, look at this where market is presently now, and look at this particular place where market got to yesterday. This particular area is more or less like a very strong area, whereby we can actually say is an area of resistance. But of course, because market is actually at this particular region now, and this is 1 hour time frame, I actually expect market to actually do a push up. And once market do a push up, the next area price is going to be contending with is going to be this particular area, which would be using as our own take profits area. All right, so you can actually enter in for a direct buy on Euro USD, then you take your profit at this particular area, which is price level 1.08386. Price level 1.08386. All right, alternatively, you can actually enter for a sell on this particular instrument, can enter for a sell at price level 1.08203. 1.08203, while you take your profit at price level 1.08101, or 1.08127, 1.08127, 1.08127, 1.08127, 1.08127. All right, GBP USD now. On GBP USD, of course, the dollar has actually been doing not been performing at its own peak, just like I did said before. Now the dollar has not been performing at its own peak, and from what we see, we can actually see that GBP has actually been taking more of the GBP has actually been taking more of the glory, and we can actually see that for most part of what we have for this particular week, market has been more of how do I call it now? More of a buy. Yes, market has been more of a buy. Now, when we look at the British pounds, we can actually see that there was actually some investment into the British pounds. Although for this particular week, we didn't really have so much to say. All right, but of course, for this week on GBP USD, we had their monetary policy report earnings, which actually did talked about different injections into this particular economy, and we looked at public sector net borrowing, with news which actually did came up for Wednesday, public sector net borrowing, and aside that too, yesterday we had a couple of their members speaking, and we had their flash manufacturing PMI, as well as flash services and PMI for yesterday, which did came up how do I call it now? It did came up positive for them, and because of this, we are looking at entering into a buy for today. My preference for this market for today is going to be a buy. So for today, you can actually enter for a buy if price breaks above this particular area of resistance. Now, when I see this particular area of resistance, look at this particular place. You can actually see that market has actually, look at where market is presently. Market has actually been jostling within this particular area, and this particular area is the same area where markets got to be the highest of the market for Wednesday, no, for Tuesday. Yes, for Tuesday, it comes to be the highest of Tuesday. So if market actually breaks above the highest of today as well as the highest of Tuesday, we can actually enter for a buy, and can actually look at taking our profits at this particular area. So you can actually enter for a buy on GBP USD at price level 1.26694, 1.26694, 1.26694, while you take your profit at 1.26607. Enter for a buy at price level 1.26694, while you take your profit at 1.26807. I believe you can hear that. Enter for a buy at price level 1.26694, then take your profit at 1.26807. All right. Alternatively, for a sell, you can actually enter for a sell at this region. You can actually see that when price attempted coming down, it could not go past or go below this particular area, which tells us of the fact that this area is a support zone. So if price actually breaks below this area, which is price level 1.26565, 1.26565, you can actually enter for a sell. Price level 1.26565, then you take your profits at the lowest of today, which is price level 1.26475, 1.26475, 1.26475. USD JPY. Now for USD JPY, most of the news which we've actually been having for USD JPY, you can actually see that Japanese yen has not been doing very fine. And one of the news which actually suggests that Japanese yen has not been doing very fine. One is that fine, we are, at the moment we're actually having a weaker yen, and if you look at the news actually did came up for Japanese yen for the course of this week, which talks about their trade surplus, or do I say their trade balance? They looked at a news that came out this week, and that talks about their trade balance. And for this trade balance, they actually had a trade surplus, which is the highest surplus in 3 years. the highest surplus in 3 years, and it actually did came up at 235 billion yen, 235 billion yen. And the implication of this is that a weaker yen makes Japanese exports more competitive and thus stimulates the economy, which means people can actually, import more of your goods because of your low or weaker currency. All right. Peradventure that Nigeria happens to be a production economy. This right this hour, a lot of people will have actually, invested more in importing more of Nigerian goods, because they know that, okay, fine, you need little money to actually get some of these goods and land them in your own country, and by the time you sell them, you'll be rest assured of your own gain. So this is exactly what we have when it comes to JPY. And for JPY today, what you can actually do is to actually do a sell, enter for a sell at price level 150.519, 150.519, 150.519, 150.519. Then you take your profit at price level 150.466. Take your profit at price level 150.466. Take your profit at price level 150.466. 150.466. All right. And alternatively, if you are to enter for a buy, you can enter for a buy at price level 150.597, 150.597, 150.597, and you can actually take your profit at price level 150.652, 150.652, 150.652. All right, so for USD CAD, we'll move into USD CAD. And just like I said, if you look at what USD CAD has actually done for most part of this particular week, you can actually see that USD has actually had more of the buys, and we had this little movement of sell on yesterday. We had this little movement of sell on yesterday. All right, and this particular sell which we did add yesterday was due to the news that we had. And just like I did said, this particular buy on Tuesday, we had CPI data came out for Canadian dollar, and this CPI data came out very bad for them, and it did increase the sharpness in the buy for USD, and that was why we had this long buy, all right, on USD. And since then, market has actually been trying to actually recover, which it did yesterday. And for CAD yesterday, we can actually see that for most part of this particular week, dollar has actually been very, very weak. Though there was a push up yesterday, which was due to this labor data that actually did came out very well, as well as some different FOMC members coming outside to speak on the fact that they are not going to be increasing or touching the interest rate as we speak now. All right, and for today, just like we know that just like we know that this particular instrument is an instrument that also looks at whatever oil is actually doing, and we'll look at what oil has actually been doing. Oil has not has been having some negatives in terms of the issues as regards the tensions in the Middle East. All right, so we're actually looking at this instrument to do a kind of continuous buy for today. You can actually enter for a buy on this particular instrument if price gets to 1.34833, 1.34833, 1.34833, 1.34833. Then you can look at taking your profit at price level 1.34906, 1.34906, 1.34906. Alternatively, you can enter for a sell. That is if price breaks below the lowest of today. enter for a sell if price breaks the lowest of today, and you can enter for at price level 1.34735, 1.34735, 1.34735. Then you can take your profits at price level 1.34657, 1.34657, 1.34657. All right. Moving away from this now, we look at NZD-USD, 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 NZD-USD. Now, looking at NZD-USD, you can actually see that there has actually been a progression. In fact, a very good increase in what NZD has actually been doing. And I can actually say that for most part of this year, NZD-USD has actually been more of a buy. All right, it has done more of a buy. It has done more of a buy. And in order for us to actually, look at what is happening in this particular region, one, dollar has actually been weak. And aside from the fact that dollar has actually been weak, the pattern which this particular instrument has actually taken is to actually buy for most part of the day, and during the close of the business, it actually does some kind of retracement or the correction. Maybe when the US session actually opens, there is a kind of retracement, and if you study this, you see it happens when the US session opens. There's a retracement, moves more in the morning. When the US session opens, there's a retracement, moves more in the morning. When US session opens, there's retracement, and you have it moving in that particular light consistently. You have it moving in that particular light consistently. All right. And for most part of what would be doing for today, would actually look at it's also doing the same thing too. But you have to actually take a cautious market, because today is Friday, and for you to do that, enter for a buy. That is if price breaks above the highest of today. Enter for a buy if price breaks above the highest of today, and you can enter for a buy at price level 0.62052, 0.62052, 0.62052, while you take your profit at price level 0.62108. Enter for a buy at price level 0.62052, 0.62052, while you take your profit at 0.62108. All right. Kindly know that this is actually a pending order, because I can actually read the chart and I see people asking whether it's selling it or what. So this is actually a buy stop and sell stop. That's what I'm actually giving at the moment. All right. Then for a sell, you can actually enter for a sell at price level 0.61968, 0.61968, 0.61968, while you take your profit at price level 0.61914, 0.61968. Then you take your profit at price level 0.61914, 0.61914. All right. So let's look at GBP CAD, GBP CAD, GBP CAD, GBP CAD. All right. So for GBP CAD, for most part of what we've seen for this week, market actually did more of an a consolidating market, not really having more of a specific movement. Yeah, we can actually look at that and see that on 1 hour time frame. You can actually see that it has not really breaking forth. And for today, we had a gap down on GBP CAD. We had a gap down, and immediately we had this gap down. Its market did moved up again. All right. I believe you can hear me. I believe you can hear me. All right. So as I was, all right, thank you. So as I was saying, markets did moved so well on Tuesday, on GBP card. And this particular news that actually did moved like this was due to the disappointing CPI data that actually did came out from this particular region. That was why we had this movement on Tuesday. And since we had this movement on Tuesday, we can actually see that card has not recovered up to the level with which it was before. It has not recovered up to the level with which it was before. And except we have different things coming up in this particular region just to prove to us or tell us that there is actually a difference in what is happening now. Except that we might not really have much on this particular instrument. You still expect it to actually have a breakout. All right. So for today on GBP card, I'm actually expecting us to actually do a kind of, though my preference for USD card today is actually a sell. You can actually enter for a sell at price level 1.70609, price level 1.70609, price level 1.70609. All right, 1.70609. While you take your profit at price level 1.70486, 1.70486, 1.70486. Then alternatively, you can actually enter for a buy at price level 1.70792, 1.70792, although it's something that is very, very dicey, because if you look at this particular region where I have actually placed this buy, if you look at it, you see that market attempted to actually go up, but it's actually got rejected here because there is actually a very strong resistance at this particular point. The same thing happened here, the same thing happened here. And if you look back, you see the same thing happening here. So you can actually enter for a buy here. But if you feel like you are not confident enough, if you want to play safe by what the market does, we can actually enter for a buy at 1.70874, 1.70874, 1.70874, and take your profit. That is you can take your profit at this region. That is 1.71004. 1.71004. But looking at what we have in the market for today, it's only a news which we have from GBP, which is MPC member Green speaking. That's the only news that we are going to be having for today on GBP. So which actually tells of the fact that it might not really move up that way. So, but of course, I'm actually confident that a sell is actually in order in terms of GBP CAD, but you can actually take towards this price I was actually given. Now, looking at oil, as well as what oil has actually been doing, just like I did said, oil has not been doing fantastically fine. And if you look at the projection for most part of what we've had for this week, let me look at a weekly. You can actually see that it moves up, and for most part of what it has, it loses the strength, moves up. For most part of whatever it has had, it loses up that particular strength also. Now, today is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So now this is where markets opened. Markets opened here on Monday, and for market opening here on Monday, this is where market is now for today. We can actually see that there was a drop in what oil did, and oil did not really do well. You can actually see that, because if you look at where market opened on Monday and where market is presently, we can actually see that there was no progression. There was no progression for all the gains which it has actually had. It has actually lost most of those particular gains, and that's why you can actually see oil at this particular region. And the more reason why Canadian dollar is not even doing well too. All right, and just to actually add more to some of the news which we're actually having on oil, there's actually tension in the Middle East in terms of the war between Israel, as well as Hamas, Iran, and the likes. And aside that too, there's actually been insecurities along the straits, in the sense that different hijackings are actually happening when it comes to ships. When these particular cargoes are carrying some of these crude oils to some other places, we had a lot of hijackings on the streets. All right, and this is not really doing well. And there was actually a call for US to actually do more in securing the waters. Yeah, there was actually a call for them to actually do more in securing the waters. And also, if you look at the news that actually came out for this week in terms of crude oil inventories that actually did came out for this particular week, there was actually less in terms of crude oil inventories, which means a lot has actually been used. But of course, it's not translating into what we as an investor, what we actually did need. We need more projection in terms of more production of oil and as well as more usage. But of course, since Chinese actually came back from their own new year, there actually been a lot of disappointing data from them also, and of course they've not really gotten back to the full capacity which they are using operating before. So we actually did expect this. All right, so for today I'm actually expecting that oil should actually do a kind of mid-day recovery. All right, we're actually expecting that they go to a kind of what I call a mid-day recovery, and you can actually enter for a buy once price gets to price level 82.32. If price gets to price level 82.32, enter for a buy and you take your profit at price level 82.51. Enter for a buy on oil at 82.32 while you take your profit at 82.51. All right. Alternatively, for a sell, you can actually enter for a sell. That is if price gets to price level 82.11. Once price gets to 82.11, enter for a sell 82.11, then take your profit at price level 81.91. It's 1.92 rather. Can enter for a sell at price level 82.11, then you take your profit at 81.92. 81.92. All right, let's look at some gold. All right, looking at some gold, and for most part of what we've had for this particular week, we can actually see that there was to a certain degree a kind of movement on gold. Yes, there was a movement on gold. All right, and this is where gold opened on Monday. If gold opened at this particular point on Monday and it's here presently, of course there is still a kind of a movement, though they actually moved and lost some of the things. But of course, this is actually expected in the market because it's not a win-win situation. All right, or do I? Yeah, of course, you have market buying and also you have the market selling too. But of course, if we want to look at it overall, we can still say that there was actually an improvement in what gold actually did for this week. And just like we did said while looking at dollar index, we actually looked at the fact that there is actually no rush to actually cut interest rate. And when we look at this particular region presently now, there is issues as regards inflation as well as foodflation in this particular region, because when we looked at the data that actually came out from the personal consumption expenditure, it didn't really impress investors. And people are actually looking at removing their money from dollar index and banking it on gold, which we've actually seen that. And if you look at the dollar index for most part of this week, we would see that dollar index has actually been very weak, which tells of the fact that dollar itself is actually very, very weak. So for today, I actually did expect that we would actually buy gold at least to a certain extent. So you can actually buy gold at price level 2022.81, 2022.81. 2022.81, you can actually take a buy on gold at price level 2022.81, while you take your profit at 2025.65. 2022.81, while you take your profit at 2025.65. 2025.65. Then alternatively, you can actually enter for a sell on gold. That is if price breaks below the lowest of today. You can actually enter for a sell at price level 2018.70, 2018.70, and you take your profit at 2015.42. Enter for a sell on gold at 2018.70, while you take your profit at 2015.42. 2015.42. All right. US 100 now. US 100, or like standing on all those things that I've actually said, I will analyze US 100, US 2000, and US 30 together. Now on US 100, just like we did said, we know that US 100 is actually a tech stock. It's actually a tech stock, and for most part of what we've had for this week, yes, you can actually see that there has actually been a rise. Yes, of course. If you look at where markets did opened on Monday. Markets opened on Monday at this particular region, all right? Though there was actually some kind of sell, but of course we can actually see that since Wednesday, there's actually been a very good momentum or rise in what US 100 has actually done, and majorly, so to say, why we had this rise was because of the pumping, as well as injection of funds into this particular stocks, which is called Nvidia, and this injection actually made Nvidia to be the highest you know, stock at the moment, overcoming Tesla, as well as Microsoft, as well as every other stocks. So presently, that's why you can actually see that US 100 is actually doing more of a buy. That's why US 100 is actually doing more of a buy. All right. And for today, I actually did expect that market should still continue in that particular movement. Yes, I'm actually expecting market to continue in that particular movement. So for today, would for today on US 100, we can expect a little correction. Yes, expect a little correction at price level 18015.84, 18015.84, 18015.84. Why you take your profit at price level 17980.17, 17980.17, 17980, 17980.17, 17980.17. All right. Why you can actually do a buy at price level 18055.71, 18055.71. Then you take your profit at the highest of yesterday, which is 18088.23, 18088.23, 18088.23, 18088.23. All right. Now, this same projection, let's use that for US 2000. Now, for US 2000, I actually did expect a buy on US 2000 at price level 2014.4, a buy on US 2000 at price level 2014.4, 2014.4. While you take your profit at 2017.2, 2017.2, 2017.2. You can enter for a sell at 2011.4, 2011.4, and you take your profit at 2008.8, 2008.8, 2008.8. Now, US 30, US 30. On US 30, we can actually enter for a buy on US 30 at price level 391 391 49 39149. Then you take your profit at the highest of today, 39183. 39149. Then you take your profit at 39183. Then a sell on this particular instrument at price level 39114. 39114. While you take your profits at the lowest of today, 39079. While you take your profits at 39079. Then lastly, DE40. All right, DE40 has actually been doing more of a consistent buy and rise. You can actually see the chart. This is on 1 hour time frame. It has been doing more. Yes, the positions are quite tight because when you look at the marginal requirements for this particular instrument, you'd see that it's very, very huge, and you need the oppositions to actually be tight. All right. So it's either you take a buy or you take a sell, depending on what you want or whatever your lot size is. So you can actually do that. All right. So lastly, on DE30 or DE40, as the case may be, this instrument has actually been on a constant rise, which I actually did expect that it should still do for today. And in order for it to actually do that, you can enter for a buy. That is, if price breaks above whatever highs that we've had, I can actually enter for a buy at price level 17491.6, 17491.6, while you take your profit at 17528.9, 17528.9. All right. Alternatively, for a sell, I expect some major retracement before it would definitely continue. You can enter for a sell at price level 17423.2, 17423.2, while you take your profit at 17378.1, 17378.1, 17378.1. All right, GBP USD, like you're asking, it already triggered for the buy. It already triggered for the buy, and you can actually take your profit at price level 1.26807. 1.26807. 1.26807. All right, so that's that for today on today's edition of Money Market review. In case you're having any challenges with your trades or anything, kindly reach out to your account officer. Kindly reach out to your account officer, and you can always do a screenshot for them so that they can actually guide you accordingly. All right. Thank you for your time, and do have a peaceful day and weekend ahead. All right. Thank you.